Welcome to the Besties in the Books podcast, guys. I'm Liz.
And I'm Ashley. And wow, are we excited for today's video, because we are starting this as a brand new series to our channel. We're going to be reading like the most unpopular books from extremely popular authors. They're kind of like secret books because we didn't know about this one. You guys let us know if you knew about this one. And before we begin, I just want to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, Bookish Queen. Stay tuned. We're going to talk all about her super cute shop in just a minute, but we're going to go right onto the video first. Today we're kicking off this series with Miss Sarah J. Maas's secret book. Can you guys guess what it is? If you don't know, she wrote a book titled Catwoman SOULSTEALER. Wow, I didn't know about this. Liz told me about this book like a year ago, I want to say, and we've been trying to get to it, and we finally have. So we found out for you guys, is this little book right here, part of the DC Icons collection, worth a read? Nobody talks about it, so we're going to talk about it.
I don't even know how I came across it. Like, I literally have no clue.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure that out today because I was like, it's not like I saw it in any bookstores, because I feel like it's never there when you're like looking at, you know, you see Throne of Glass, you see Crescent City, you see ACOTAR, and then where's this book? Nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if maybe I came across it on Amazon or something like that when I was just like looking at other stuff. I have no clue, but here we are. So, you know, it's exceptionally odd too, because it's like, I wouldn't call myself a super fan of like DC and Marvel, but I enjoy it a lot. I've seen all the movies. My husband's really into it. And like, I had no idea that this existed until very recently.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. No one talks about it. No one on Bookstagram's talking about it. No one on BookTok is talking about it, unless there are, and we just haven't happened to see anything.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know either. I don't know what the deal with this book is, but we're going to tell you whether or not we think you should read it. Also, we did want to mention that because this is just, you know, the first one we're doing in this Unpopular Books by Popular Authors series, you know, we have some popular names that we want to throw in the mix, like maybe some Rebecca Yarros, some Suzanne Collins, but if you have other suggestions, let us know.
Like, good or bad. Like, say there's a... Yeah. I mean, if there's bad, it's the more the merrier, too. Like maybe it needs to stay a secret. I don't know. But we want to investigate all of that. So definitely let us know.
That's what this is about. Yeah. Like, we want to investigate. We don't care if it's good or bad. Like, we're here to give you guys the information, basically. So for today, same as usual, you know, the first 15 minutes will be spoiler free, but the format will be a little bit different. We're going to be talking about, you know, maybe some little facts about this book that you didn't know, because maybe you've never heard of it before or no one talks about it. And then we're going to get into, you know, our faves, least faves, some reviews, and some surprise questions and things like that too. So feel free to stick around if that sounds good to you. But before we get into that, we just want to say thank you for being here.
Thank you guys so much for being here and taking time out of your day and your book to listen on in to see what we have to say about anything we talk about, and especially this Catwoman book. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts, including YouTube. We're over there just chilling, just hanging out, just vibing. You can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Besties in the Books podcast, everywhere except Fable. That's Besties in the Book Club, because that's our little antisocial, social, virtual book club where you can like hop on in at any time and join our buddy reads, hang out, talk in the chats about whatever book that we're all reading, or our past reads we'll check up on sometimes too. So, hey, join us.
Join us for the fun.
Yeah.
So let's just kick today's episode off with a fave and fails of the week.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been a while since we've talked about that.
Let's do it.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first today?
Lead the way, Liz. Lead it.
Okay. I feel like when I was thinking about it, I'm like, what have I been doing this week? Like, literally just reading and working. I'm like, that's in podcasting, obviously. So I'm like, what have I even been doing? So I briefly talked about this before, but I wanted to mention it on my faves for the week. My husband and I went and saw Sinners, and it was great. So that was my fave of the week, other than just starting filming again, because Ashley and I took like a little break because she was out of town, I was out of town, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that we're back on our filming schedule. But aside from that, I was like, what did I do? And here's the thing. If you guys are fans of Michael B. Jordan, I didn't know anything because I didn't want to spoil anything for myself. Okay. Yeah. Like, I didn't want to spoil anything for myself. All I knew is that it had Michael B. Jordan and it was about vampires. That's all I knew. What I did not know, and what I feel like the book girlies need to know, is that Michael B. Jordan plays a twin. So there are two Michael B. Jordans in this movie. So take with that what you will. And yeah, it's like, it has classic vampire lore, but some kind of like new twists on things. The acting's great. You know, I know you briefly had mentioned that you were worried about watching it because you were afraid it was going to be scary. Yeah. It's not scary. Okay. Like, it's definitely like, it would be rated R for, I mean, it's a vampire movie. So there's violence, there's blood, you know, language, something, you know, you'd call it probably like thematic elements. But yeah, it's not scary. Okay. Or at least it's not to me, but I'm also not scared of vampires. I guess if you're scared of vampires.
Not vampires, but and like, I don't like gore, but I don't care about vampire gore because it's like so fake, you know? Yeah, like, I don't care about that kind of gore, but if they're taking innards out, I don't want anything to do with that. You know what I mean?
I mean, there was definitely a couple gory parts, but it was very vampire gory.
Okay. I could deal with that.
There's a lot of blood, but
yeah, hey.
That's what you signed up for.
What was that review that we read of somebody that reviewed a book? Blood Fetish? And it's like literally a vampire book. Like, duh. Like, you get what you signed up for, babes. Like, okay. Yeah. I could deal with that for sure.
Yeah, I think that you would like it for sure. I think that there might be a couple, like, like with me, I'm like, ooh, kind of a little cringe part, you know, where you're like, this is gross. But at the same time, it's like, it's a vampire.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, it was great. If you guys are into that, which I know, I'm sure a ton of you guys are into that, go watch it. My husband didn't really like it because I think that it was a little bit slow for him, but I did. So yeah. Hey, I don't know. And then my fail of the week, I couldn't really think of anything because I'm like, all my fails of the week would just be kind of, I think, like work related, which I don't really want to talk about here. And so, because none of them are entertaining, they're just kind of like, I don't know, just your run of the mill. Yeah. I don't know. Day job troubles.
Bummerness. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was trying to think, and I was like, honestly, I think it's just that like I feel behind on my reading schedule because I've had so much going on, but honestly, like it's keeping my brain very occupied. So it's kind of a fail, but not also really a fail.
Yeah. And we've had a lot of like reading homework for just the podcast and book club in general, and then just what we want to do. So I get that. Yep. Like it's all fun, but it's a lot on a deadline. We're on a timeline, you know?
I mean, and I struggle with that because it's like I thrive on a deadline. Like I almost like I need a deadline. Otherwise I can't get anything done. Yeah. And so it's like it helps me if I'm like, I have to have this done by Monday. I have to have this done by Tuesday, whatever. And then I can kind of stay on track. Yeah. But I feel like things have been so busy. It's been harder for me to stay on track than normal. But at the same time, I think it's good because it keeps me focused. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm focused.
I'm focused.
For me, that was hard too because I don't think we pre-filmed a lot. So it's been like 3 weeks since we filmed it. And I'm like, who knows what even happened in that time frame? Yeah, I don't know. When Liz and I don't like keep on that weekly schedule, it throws us all off when it comes to little things like that. So I'm going to start with my fail though, because that one stuck out to me. And that is my PSA for today, you guys. And hey, if you're in a really grumpy mood all the time, and you don't know why. Are you taking Zyrtec? Are you taking allergy meds? Because it might be that. You might not be spiraling into a depression. So that's to be over dramatic.
Are you a woman living in
society? I mean, yeah. Other than outside extremities happening. Like, this is just my, also try to remind myself in the future. So last year, I don't know if you guys remember, y'all were here for that, when I got a really bad sinus infection from seasonal allergies. So I put literally a reminder in my phone in March to start the allergy meds. So it's just like Claritin was working fine. I was taking Zyrtec last year, but then my sister recommended Claritin, so I'd switched to that. But I have a Costco amount of both, right? And I only take them for a couple months at a time. So I put in my calendar to start the meds this year, and I was taking Claritin, ran out, and I only needed a few more weeks of allergy medicine till I go through my parents' house, which is like Orchard City, and that's the worst my allergies get. So I wanted to make sure I just took it through there. I don't want to take them all year, and I don't need to. So I switched to Zyrtec because I'm cheap, okay? And allergy medicine is super expensive. So I'm going to use up what I have, obviously. Not remembering, I switched. Not remembering at all until after the fact that I switched from Zyrtec because I hated it. Because it made me grumpy. So I was grumpy and in a bad mood internally, like for 3 weeks, and like in a funk that I couldn't get out of. And we paused the gym, so I was blaming that and like trying to think about all these other things other than this. And then I Googled it one day when I only had like 2 pills left. I'm like, oh, that's like a high, like a, what's it called? A common symptom of over-the-counter allergy medicines to be mood, you get mood swings and stuff like that. I'm like, great. Cool. And guess what? I stopped it, and 2 days later, I felt great. And I've been fine ever since. Allergy season's mostly done here, but I'd rather deal, like now I'll just get like a itchy eyes or nose. Or, like my skin's been really itchy since, oddly enough.
That's a bummer.
So it's weird, but I'd rather that than like feel like I'm spiraling into a bad place. So...
yeah, totally.
Hey. So that's my little PSA. If you're like, why? What is, other than like the world sucks right now, why am I in such a terrible mood all the time? Oh, maybe it's my allergy meds. Because I didn't know. I didn't really think about it. And I think last year when I got off of it and switched to Claritin, it was just, I hadn't pinpointed what was going on, you know? So that's my fail.
It's a lot of ups and downs. It's like messing with you because you're like, I know for me at least, because I had to take Zyrtec for a few years. Yeah. And it was like, it was constantly like lots of energy and then crashing. Lots of energy and then crashing. And so, I don't know, because it's like the Zyrtec D one is the one that I used to take, and so that's one you have to get from the pharmacy. So there's like some kind of drugs in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I never had the energy. I just felt crashed all day, like a slug. Oh, really? Like all the time. So
yeah, whatever they put in Zyrtec D would make me like feel like I had 10 cups of coffee, and then you'd crash. So I would have to take it like twice a day every day. It was like a whole thing. But I couldn't function like without it for a while.
If you got to do it, you got to do it. But
yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, me too. So, you know, it's a fave in that now I'll remember not to do Zyrtec. And I don't know. I don't even remember now. How did I feel on Claritin that month? I think, you know, you were here, so I was having a blast. So, you know, hey, I was distracted enough. Who knows? But it is what it is. And then my fave is just, I've only been a week off of it, so it's hard to see all the rainbows and sunshine, right? But we had like Easter and stuff, like that was fun, you know, just good times.
Totally.
Yeah. I can't think of anything specific. We're just in that, you know, countdown to summer right now, just living through day to day. We're reading a lot of good books right now, so that's fun. This book right here, you know, it's a good time. Yeah. It's a good time. Yeah. So
we'll give you our spoiler-free review here in a second.
Yeah. So
that you guys know whether or not you should pick it up if you've been like, what is that? What's that weird book hanging out in the corner no one talks about? Do people not talk about it for a reason?
Yeah.
Okay, so before we go any further into today's episode, we want to take a moment to thank the Bookish Queen for sponsoring us today.
I know, so exciting. So we're both right now wearing our Bookish tees from the Bookish Queen. Miss Fernanda sent them over to us. I have In My Bookish Era right here on the left side, and then on the sleeve is a cute little embroidered book. I just love it so much.
It's so cute. Yeah, mine says, I closed my book to be here, so it's very on brand for me on the front. And then on the side, it says Antisocial Book Club over on the sleeve. So there's something for every personality at her shop, which we love. And they aren't just screen printed, as Ashley just mentioned, they actually are embroidered, which is awesome.
Yeah, I love that little attention to detail that I've seen on all of the stuff that I've been looking at in her shop. And we've been testing these shirts out for the last couple weeks, and I love the quality. And I can't wait myself to like go in there and order a bunch of goodies, because she has such a cutesy, romantic aesthetic. In her selection, I've also seen stickers, bookmarks, those cute little e-reader charms. Oh my gosh, I just love them so much. So many cute things.
Something that's really unique about her shop as well is that they actually donate 1% of every month's revenue to the World Literacy Foundation. So we love that. It's so amazing. Go support them. Give them a follow at Bookish Queen Shop on Instagram. And then for our listeners, save 15% off of your purchase at bookishqueen.com with code BestieBooks15. So that's 15% off your entire purchase with code BestieBooks15.
And we'll have all of that information and the links and the code down in the description box for you to check out and snag some goodies yourself. Yay! Thank you so much, Bookish Queen, for sponsoring this video. Now, let's go back to the show and Catwoman SOULSTEALER by Sarah J. Maas. What is that all about?
So what is this book? What is this place?
Who are we? Where am I? As I like to say, where did we come from? Where do we go? Cotton Eye Joe. Okay.
Yeah. So we thought that it would be useful just to give you guys some context about this book, just so that you kind of know, like, why we chose it and how it exists in the world. I know for me, I was curious about these things. So that's why we're throwing them in there. Okay.
We want you guys to have a leg up from and not have to do all the research we had to do when we already purchased it. We're like, wait, what? This is a part of a whole series of different authors that wrote superhero books? So cool.
Yeah, it is cool. So, first of all, it came out in 2018. So, it's not like it's brand new and you guys haven't heard about it because it came out 3 days ago.
I mean, ain't no way. Ain't no way she could sneak that in there without anybody noticing at this point.
Well, I guess, but then at the same time, it's like, 2018, like, she already had Throne of Glass out. Like, she already had, right? Like, some ACOTAR out. It's not like this came out, like, before she was known.
Yeah, but, like, BookTok was not... Like TikTok didn't even exist, but like, you know, the book community was small and doing the best they could. You know, it wasn't strong yet. You know, I don't want to offend anybody out there who maybe was chugging along, but we can all agree that the book explosion happened in 2022? I mean, part of it being 2020 when everybody's at home. That's when it started really creeping. So 2018 kind of flew under the radar a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't think she'd be able to now, is what I mean.
No, everyone, I think that if this book was released right now, today, I mean, the sales would be insane. Like, it would be a completely different thing, I think.
Different thing. Even the cookbook, everybody thought was a new Sarah J. Maas book, you know? I think it's called A Feast of Thorns and Roses. So that one, people were like, oh my gosh, a book is being announced. And then it wasn't what they thought it was going to be. But it's fun. Yeah. It just wasn't what the people knew. They were trying to, because people try to like suss out her upcoming launches. And then I think it was even the ACOTAR limited edition set that people thought was going to be the 6th ACOTAR book. And then it was the limited. So, hey, sorry.
So yeah, it came out in 2018. It's YA fiction. It's published by Random House, and it's 400 pages. So it's very standard YA fiction. It's major publisher.
400 pages, but I will say 350 because the last 50 pages are little, like a couple chapters of each book.
Okay, like
so it's even shorter
for the next, like previews for the next books or the other ones in the series. So just to kind of put it into perspective. You know, I mean, this is the Unpopular Books by Popular Authors series, okay? This has 26,048 ratings on Goodreads, okay? And gets a 4.06 average. So that's a pretty decent review. But, I mean, I went and I just quickly skimmed through all the Sarah J. Maas books, and most of them have millions of reviews.
Millions.
If not millions, then at least hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
Like at least 800,000. You know what I mean? And this one has 26,000.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so odd.
Yeah, it is.
So that's kind of like where we're coming from, where we're looking, we're like, that's a huge discrepancy. It's not like it was just a lesser popular book, you know, like maybe The Assassin's Blade or Tower of Dawn or whatever. It's like literally people are just like, I'm not even going to bother with that one.
It doesn't even like come up.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
I wish I could remember how I heard of it. I don't remember. Yeah. So if you heard of it randomly, please tell us how you heard of it. Like, was it from another person on BookTok or Bookstagram, or did you just happen to come across it?
It's like a book we have to like sneak to each other. Like, hey, have you read this one? Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
It's like, actually, it's like a little possible, we'll talk about it, future treat to, you know, get that Sarah J. Maas writing in. That you love so much, you know? Because you're like, hey, who knows when she's going to come out with the next one. So, what a surprise. She has a secret book.
Yeah, it is nice, for sure.
Yeah.
So it is part of an 8-part DC Icon series. So if you end up liking this, it's up your alley. There are 7 others. So there's Wonder Woman by Lee Bardugo, Batman by Marie Lu, Superman by Matt De La Pena, Black Canary by Alexandra Monier, and 3 Harley Quinn books, which I was the most excited about.
Yeah, I thought you would be too.
Yeah, because I know that you like Harley Quinn the best, by Rachel Allen. So I think that I would probably delve into the Harley Quinn books next if I had a little extra time. I think I might go down that. And the covers are really cool. I think that they might be redoing the covers, but this one's okay. But I feel like when I was looking at the newer ones that came out with Harley Quinn, they had more like comic book looking covers.
Yeah, but I did
which I think is appropriate.
The little printed edge. I wouldn't even say it's a sprayed edge, but it says DC Icons because I ordered mine online, so it was like a nice little surprise when I got it in the mail.
Same.
I was expecting, obviously, because nobody talks about this dinky little a plain book, you know, and I was like, oh, this is actually really cool. Yeah, hey.
Totally. So, you know, I think most of us are pretty familiar with, you know, most of these, if not all of these characters. So it's just kind of like, I think, different takes on these stories, which is neat.
Yeah, definitely really cool. So now that we have some a little background of this sneaky little story lady, let's give our spoiler-free star review. And if you'd recommend it, and to whom. So lead the way, Liz.
Okay. I rated it 5 stars.
Yeah. Hey, look at you.
I rated it 5 stars because it was a nice, entertaining, well-written one-off. And I feel like from Sarah J. Maas, it's like, you know, we love her because of the emotional roller coasters she drags us through. We do. But at the end of the day, sometimes it's nice to just be like, I'm just going to read this really entertaining book that I don't have to really like think too much into, that I can just sit down and enjoy, and then it's over.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. I liked that about that.
Or is it? Watch, this is like the secret book that like wraps up everything in one. That would be so funny and sinister.
So weird.
It like has all these clues that we didn't know about. Oh my gosh, it'd be amazing. I wish. It doesn't have that guy. Sorry. Or does it? No, I'm just kidding.
Or does it? I mean, honestly, we don't know. We don't know. No, as far as we know, this is not, you know, related to the quote-unquote Massiverse as we know it. It's just its own good, fun, standalone story. And that's why I rated it 5 stars. It was a 0 spice. So just go into it knowing it's true YA 0 spice. So what about... Oh, and I would recommend it. Okay, so... I feel kind of a little bit torn about this because after reading the reviews on Goodreads about it, I'm like, I might be leading people astray. However, move forward knowing that I might not know what I'm talking about. And that's okay, you know. So I was going to say I would recommend it to anyone who's like, well, first of all, if you like Sarah J. Maas's writing, read it. That's an easy one. Yeah. I would say, you know, at first I was like, well, maybe if you are into like DC and comic books, maybe you should read it. But now I'm kind of like, I don't know, because I feel like if you're a purist about that, then it might bother you because I don't know a whole lot about Catwoman lore. But from what I got, and we'll talk about more about this in the review section at the end, I kind of got the feeling that diehard DC and Catwoman fans were not very happy with this book. So maybe if you're like me and you're a fair weather DC fan and you just like watching the movies for fun and don't take it too seriously, then you'd probably like this. Yeah.
It's like some different artist's take on famous character. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I don't think that she wrote this with the intention of like being true to all of the lore. You know what I mean?
I was reading, I don't know if it was on the back of the cover or something I looked up, and they did have direct communication with DC to help create their stories. But they were still given some creative freedom. So the Catwoman's name is Selena, right? So it's that, which was throwing me off, okay? Because we got Selena in Throne of Glass. I was like, what if it's her? No. So she's secretly Catwoman. No. So
oh my God, that's the answer the whole time.
It's Catwoman at the end of Throne of Glass.
It was just a dream and she's Catwoman.
Oh, golly. Yeah. So she is, you know, they do have those they have some stuff they try to keep true, but then she's given creative freedom for sure. So take that information and don't go too hard on the book, I think. That's the best way to say it. So for me, my rating would be obviously rating it. I've never read anything that would be, I don't know what you would call this genre, like a superhero genre necessarily. You know, it is still fantasy because it's that superhero, but I'm not super into superhero stuff, but DC Universe is my favorite if I had to choose one because I love Batman and all the characters there. So just rating the book and the story for what it is in that department would be a 5-star for me as well. Specifically because Miss Maas has such a way to get me to care about this superhero story. I don't think I would ever have picked up any of these other books, you know, or even this book unless she wrote it to get me interested. And now I want to read those Harley Quinn ones and maybe some of the other ones, you know, because it's like, she's such a good writer that she can make me care. And you just know it's her when you're I don't know, when you're reading it. I don't know, something about it.
Yeah.
So if you love her writing style, I think you could get into this book. So I would recommend it for anybody who wants like a little time me over until the next Sarah J. Maas book. Someone who, you know, at least is surface level into superhero books. Yeah, I would recommend it to anybody who is like a surface level superhero fan. I feel like I'm saying a lot of words with S's, so it's tripping me out. So yeah, anybody who's going to be, oh no, it was supposed to be this way, not this person, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you might critique it too much and it might pull you out, I guess.
Yeah, probably.
But okay, at this day and age, how many times have they rewritten and changed Spider-Man, Superman, Thor? Like, give the lady some slack, you know? Let her have her take now. Because it was good. So.
It was good. Yeah. Okay. So should we get into our spoiler section?
Caca! Get on. Oh, wait, no. What is meow? You guys, I had caffeine today. It was a bad choice. Forgive me for I have sinned. Okay? I feel like my heart's ripping out of my throat right now. So anyways, meow, spoilers are coming for Catwoman.
Okay, all right. All right, I gotta compose myself.
I got the gong for those listening, so be careful with your headphones. So the 5-sentence, Liz shall be doing the 5-sentence summary for Catwoman.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. All right. 17-year-old Selena Kyle lives in Gotham City with her younger sister Maggie, who suffers from cystic fibrosis. So Selena uses her skills as a former gymnast to make money fighting for the underground crime lord Falcone as one of his quote-unquote leopards and as a stealthy pickpocket to get by and pay her sister's medical bills since their parents are no longer in the picture.
1. Yeah, that's setting the scene. Yeah, it was.
Setting the scene. Well, I was talking about the gong.
Oh, I was talking about you, so look at us.
Look at that. Compliments all around.
Great job listening, guys. Good job. Thank you. I gotta give one to them, too.
Everybody.
Yeah. Gongs for all.
Gongs for all. Okay. Social workers come snooping around and will separate the sisters, but Selena makes a deal with Nissa and Talia instead, 2 Russian assassins who recruited her, who run the League of Ghouls, an underground group highly skilled and trained to take down the powers that be and enact their own forms of justice. Selena goes with them in exchange for her sister's safety and adoption by a good family.
2.
After 2 years of being away enduring brutal training, Selena learns that Nissa and Talia are working with a scientist to develop the technology for a Lazarus pit, the key to eternal life and or curing of all diseases. She steals the technology, kills the scientist, wrecks the lab, and escapes the League in order to go back to the States and save her sister.
3. And if you're looking for that fantasy element, it's in there. So there you go. You hear that?
It's in there.
Lazarus pit.
Little magic. It's science. The line between science and magic, though.
Yeah.
It's a fine line. Okay.
Yeah.
Selena begins her double life as a wealthy socialite by day and Catwoman, her new persona, at night, evading the police and Batwing, who she's having a fun, flirty thing with, as she steals from the rich to give to the poor and to fund her Lazarus Project, making an unlikely alliance and friendship with Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn, who she originally planned to just use as pawns in her scheme, but she eventually gets caught and her identity is revealed before she is thrown into prison with the Joker and all of his cronies.
Things getting crazy.
Things getting crazy. Nyssa and Talia send their highest trained assassins to kill Selena and bring back the tech for the Lazarus Pit. So Selena tricks the Joker into helping her bust out of prison, where she saves her sister and fights the League off with the help of Poison Ivy and Batwing amidst the complete chaos of everyone fighting each other, but not before almost dying herself.
5.
The end.
The end. Yep. Who saw that coming? If you stuck around and you haven't read it yet, what a ride it was, honestly.
It was. Yeah. It was great. I loved it. Very fast paced.
Yeah.
A lot happened, but not too much. I don't know. It was a good balance, I think.
You know what, this book was a good palate cleanser, you know? If you want some good writing, it's YA, so, you know, I had a little emo moment. I did. So she has a way of pulling that out of me, and it was nice. Nice time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk about that for sure.
Yeah.
The emo moments, I'm sure that, they'll come up as we're going through this list. Yep. So what was one trope that you loved in this book?
Yes. Let me compile my notes here. I loved, I'm going to say 2, sorry. Badass FMC, obviously, it's Catwoman. I'm so glad she wrote this one, you know, because not all of those superheroes I care about. So Catwoman was an easy sold for me. And found family.
Oh, cute.
Sarah J. Maas is so good at that. She is.
Agreed.
Making it natural and not forced, where you're like, hey, wait, that was found family. Aw. I mean, that's the thought I had today. When I was writing down my notes, it's like, oh, hey. Aw.
Cute.
It's like a small little, you know, thing building. What's it called? Inner circle building up. Yeah. If she was going to continue the series, you know, but I don't think so. Imagine she comes out with Catwoman 2 next year instead. People are like, where's Catwoman 1? Well,
we didn't even know
it's been there the whole time. What about you?
Been listening to our podcast. I put same thing. Female assassin, badass FMC. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. What I put. I just really enjoyed it. I mean, we knew that was coming, but I feel like just the way that she wrote her.
Yeah.
I really appreciated her character.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. Yeah. She was just a well-written character, I thought.
And I should say, I know almost nothing. I'm a surface level watcher. So I know nothing about Catwoman, like actual lore. Only whatever movies are out, and that's fuzzy. So. Yeah. Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, same. I feel like usually I'll just ask my husband questions and then he'll explain them to me.
So to me, this was like, oh, this is cool. I didn't know that, but probably none of it's factual anyway. So
factual, as if this whole universe isn't completely made up.
Yeah, exactly. And so many people haven't written their takes on it at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. So what about a trope that you didn't like?
I had a hard time figuring out one.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, great. I mean, if I had to nitpick here, like, the Lazarus Pit's a little crazy, but whatever. Who cares? It's all fake. So
yeah, I mean, because it is, like we said before, it's very, like, magic adjacent.
Yeah. When I sat back and thought about superhero stuff, I'm like, well, a lot of times they'll kind of go off to this weird place, you know?
Well, I feel like most superheroes, like, in order to just become the way they are in general, have gone through some sort of insane, like, you know, quote unquote scientific or magic transformation of some kind.
Yeah, true that.
Just to, like,
Poison Ivy, literally, you know? Yeah. So, I mean, Superman is an alien. Yeah. What's his name again?
Kal-El.
I still don't believe you.
That was such a funny discussion.
Kal-El?
Yeah.
No, that's not right. It's not real. His name is Superman.
His name is Superman. He's an alien. He could have any name.
Yeah. I had to Google if that was Catwoman's real name, Selena, because I was like, this is like really not stressing me out, but freaking me out because it's Selena, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, she went a little too close here. Oh, that is her name, so she had to use it. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I didn't dislike any tropes in this book either, really. I felt like all of them fit. However, if I did have to nitpick, what I put is back from the dead trope. Because that always bothers me.
It has all the Sarah J. Maas things in it, guys. It's just somebody else's story. You got found family. You got fake, what is it called? Fake death? Fake out death?
Yeah, fake out death.
You literally, like, if you need that tie over, it has it all.
Yeah. I mean, the only difference, though, is that I feel like in this book, fake out death worked because of the fact that there was a main plot point was the Lazarus pit. Like,
right, yeah.
So it made sense. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, they died and now they're back. It actually like made sense with the plot, but it still kind of bothered me because I'm like, really? She had to like almost die, like basically die and then come back? Like, okay.
It has all the Sarah J. Maas things you maybe want and don't want. There you go.
Exactly. So what about like a niche micro trope that stood out to you, good or bad?
I'm ready for this one.
All right.
Okay, so micro tropes would be superhero costumes. Okay for girls, great for girls. Awesome, love it. Boys, I get the major ick if they have like a giant letter across their chest.
A letter? Okay.
Because Batwing, which also I didn't even know he existed in the DC universe. So I thought we were reading a story about Robin and I was like, great. Gross. Sorry, Robin fans out there. But so, okay, Batwing, which is like also not great because you're just Batman's little tiny bat friend, but you're also huge. But she describes
tiny bat friend.
His giant like bee or whatever lighting up and like blinding the enemies or the bad guys or whatever. And I'm just like, no, done. I can't get out of here with that stupid costume.
Yeah, see, I guess, like, superhero costumes don't give me the ick because, like, when I picture superheroes, I think that I take all of that information they give me about what they look like and I just push it from my brain.
Yeah.
And I just picture, like Christian Bale.
Yeah, for me,
Knight.
it's not,
you know
it's
what
not
I mean?
necessarily the getup. It's, like, specifically, like, the big giant letters, like, branding themselves.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Gives me the ick. Catwoman doesn't. Like, she just has her cool, like, you know, suit that's like an assassin suit. Even Poison Ivy is just freaking badass and covered in vines. But, like, Harley Quinn, she doesn't write Harley Quinn on her little baby doll tee. But Batman, even, he has a bat that's borderline, but then Batwing had, like, a giant bee on it, you know? I think of Incredibles. So it kind of, like...
Makes it kind of dorky.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Superman
I didn't look up any...
has always been an ick for me. So he has a giant S. It's like, do you really need to name yourself, like, and brand yourself like that? I don't know. I'm having to nitpick here, so I'm gonna. Like, this is a micro trope.
So in this picture that I found from DC Comics, because I didn't even think to look up Batwing. Let me grab it for you. It looks like he just has a light up bat.
Yeah.
Not a bee.
I would be okay with that, but I specifically remember in here a letter. So
yeah.
But even the light up bat, I don't know. Just imagine him like standing there. He's like, oh, cool fight. And then he's like, blast. It's like, okay, I can't. Stop, please.
I thought his little boomerang was stupid. I thought, I can't remember.
By the way, you also get a bat boy. Hello.
Oh, that's
all the
funny.
Sarah J. Maas things. So hang on.
Wait.
Let's list this real quick. Found family. Boom. Bat boy. Boom.
Back from the dead.
Fake out death. Boom. Sarah J. Maas is writing. Boom. So all the Sarah J. Maas things.
Yeah, that's funny. I didn't even realize that it literally the bat connection. Duh. That didn't dawn on me until you said it just now. That's funny.
This is like she wrote this probably in like 2 days. She's like, oh, I got this. It's literally put all my things into this book. Done.
Oh, it's about bats? That is my wheelhouse. Great.
Yeah.
So
it's not even. That's what's funny though. It's not. She did Catwoman, but she had to sneak the bats in there.
Yeah.
They said no, you can't do Batman. We already have somebody signed up for it. She's like, oh, well, I'll do it. I'll figure it out. I gotta get one in there. I gotta get a winged man in there somehow, and he does fly. So there you go. He
does fly, but that is a little dorky too.
It is a little bit, huh?
Yeah,
because he's doing it at like a weird choice of time. But hey, whatever. And he also fails each time. So
I can't, like, my thing. Okay, here's my thing with Batman. Now we're just going to talk about this. I've literally always found Batman to be like the most dorky superhero because of the fact that it's like he doesn't actually have any powers other than just being rich, right? Like that's his power. Like he's smart, obviously. Like he's rich and smart. That's basically like his
and
superpower.
Strong.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you know, okay, he works out, great. But it's like but he doesn't have superhuman strength. Like, it's all of his gadgets and everything that he invents that, like, give him more strength, you know, like his suit and everything. So, like, I've always had a really hard time with Batman because of those reasons. But then I read Under Your Scars by Ariel and Anderson that I've shouted out on the podcast a couple times. And it is not actually a Batman book, but it's a dark romance where the main character is very Batman-like. And so it completely changed my entire perception of Batman. And now I love him.
There you go.
So I feel like now I just have to like look past all of those things that make him dorky and pretend like they don't exist. Like the weird flying wings thing. I know that he's not Batman, but it's very the same. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they have a lot of the same powers. Yeah. Otherwise it'll give me the icks. Yeah. And we don't want that.
We just try not to think too hard about it.
Try not to think too hard about it. My favorite microtrope was the Lazarus Pit and the ley lines. Like, I thought that was really interesting because weren't ley lines very important in Crescent City?
Yes. So that put me in there too. Yeah, that's why it is. Like, it's not going to be like a critically acclaimed, like way different than any book she's ever written. It's literally like all of our favorite and maybe least favorite things put into a book, and it's fun. It's just a fun time. Yeah. Yeah, the ley lines were cool. Yeah.
That was cool. I thought it was interesting, and, you know, that whole concept of using the Earth's energy to, like, I don't know, bring people back from the dead. It's very Frankenstein. It was cool.
Yeah. Oh, it's good.
So, what about your favorite part?
I loved when she met Poison Ivy and kind of enlisted her into help, and then asked for Harley Quinn to be involved too. So I loved their moments together. Like just having all, they're like my favorite. I love Poison Ivy, I love Harley Quinn, and I love Catwoman. So I get them all in one. And they're having fun, and they're like vibing, and they're like girl power. It's great.
Yeah, their little girl gang. Yeah, I loved that too. That was great. I literally just put her stealing stuff. I love, like, that's what makes Catwoman cool, right? Is that it's like she's got all these crazy like gymnastic skills, and so I feel like that's one thing that Sarah J. Maas does so well is she like writes in such a way to where you can literally picture everything so vividly. Yes. And so, you know, you're picturing her like doing all these crazy, it's like Mission Impossible, you know, in there. She's like doing all these crazy like moves to like steal all this stuff, you know. And ultimately she's you know, essentially they even mentioned in the book like a Robin Hood type or vigilante. So it's like you can really root for her. Yeah. So that was my favorite part, just like watching her like basically just be this awesome, I don't know, like I want to call her an assassin, but she's not, you know, like whatever. Person who does heists. What's that called?
Cat burglar.
A cat burglar. That doesn't sound very cool.
I don't know.
But you guys know what we mean.
Yeah. Slickster. I don't know.
So that was definitely my favorite part.
Around. Yeah. Least favorite part, again, I don't know. Yeah, you can't really pick any. Do you have any?
Yeah, I definitely have one because I like gasped out loud.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
When she's over in, I'm assuming Russia training or whatever, and freaking one of the mean Russian ladies pushes her friend off the cliff.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. That's mine, too. Horrible. Yeah.
I was like, I literally was like, I didn't see it coming. I was like, whoa. I thought that she made it, and you guys were going to be friends for the rest of the book, and then nope, she fell to her death.
That was really sad. And then it's not a least favorite part, but the most brutal part, we'll just change it up, was, I was literally tearing up when her sister was dying, you know, and she's having, and freaking Harley Quinn stabs her anyways, throws the knife, and then I'm like, oh, this is so much harder now. You know, I read those last like 50 pages, you know how she gets us. Miss Sarah J. Maas, where you're just like, oh my gosh, just breezing through it because it's crazy. So much is happening, but it's also concise and clear what's happening.
Yeah, totally.
Controlled chaos.
Yeah, it's not just like chaotic, like where you have to go back and reread pages because you're like, what just happened? No.
Yeah, so I can like feel the moment, even though I don't really like have a specific bond to the sister. The sister's dying and I'm tearing up because all this hard work that she's doing to save her sister, she might not live, you know?
Yeah.
And then she dies. Oh, like them coming in and she's like dead on the freaking thing. I'm like, oh my gosh. What if they don't bring her back? It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I guess like at that point, I had a hard time being sad about her dying because I was like, this is SJM. This is going to be a fake out death. She's going to come back.
She's going to come back. I mean, it didn't make sense anyways that they're like, it's only enough for one person. And the sister at that point is like probably 70 pounds, little tiny frail thing. It's like there's got to be enough liquid left over, and sure enough there was just enough,
of course
just enough to heal her wounds and resuscitate her. Yeah I did like though that Batwing was like, okay, I'm gonna go get this electrical shock to save her, but Sarah J. Maas still wrote the sister saving her.
Yeah,
like, because she was resuscitating her and it wasn't working, and sometimes it takes a while. So he's like, okay, I am gonna do this, and then at the last minute she was able to fully resuscitate her on her own. I thought that was a powerful moment.
Yeah, I agree. It was a very frozen moment.
Yeah, it was nice.
So what about your favorite character? Was Selena your favorite character?
Yeah, totally.
Same.
Totally.
She was great.
Yep.
Loved her.
She made in this universe, because I would always say Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn would be my favorite. So in this universe, it was Catwoman, hands down. I know we don't have their full backstory, but Team Catwoman right now.
See, I've always been a Wonder Woman lady. I mean, I fully enjoyed this, don't get me wrong. But, like, I'm a low-key afraid to read Wonder Woman because Leigh Bardugo wrote it. We talked about that before, and we had such an experience with Shadow and Bone that I'm like, okay, I can do this. But, I mean, if it's good, it's good. Because, yeah, I've always loved Wonder Woman. Who was your least favorite character, then?
I mean, Joker sucks, and I usually love him, so...
Yeah, I mean, he was such a small part, though, too.
Such a small part.
Yeah.
Such a small part. So, oh, God, I'm an idiot. The head of the Assassins Guild.
Yeah.
Those girls they're like literally sending people to like go kill her. I understand that they were trying to kill her because of the formula, but I also don't, because like you're bad people. So
yeah, I needed more information about that, because like I also put Nyssa and Talia. I feel like they were tied for my least favorite characters because they were kind of like one person, even though they were sisters. Were they sisters, or were they just co-workers? I don't know.
Yeah.
But either way, it was like, one of them was in charge of like the psychological training, and one of them was in charge of the physical training, whatever. So, but at the same time, like, I did find them to be pretty interesting. Like, I would almost want to know, like, it reminded me a lot of like watching, like the Black Widow movies. It was very similar to like that kind of vibe, just in that kind of training. And so I would want to know more about their backstory, even though we're not supposed to like them and I didn't like them. I bet they have an interesting story.
Yeah, I just didn't like when they started freaking killing all the scientists, and then pushing the friend over letting the girl die. Like they're a little brutal. So,
yeah, totally. But I always wonder though, like, what made you that way? Like, how did you end up being a part of this organization? And like, really, at the end of the day, like, what is the point of that organization?
Oh, it was their dad, right?
Oh, was it?
I think at one point they mentioned they took over their family business.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
So their dad was trying to do the Lazarus pits. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
So they were.
I was like, what
cool.
if that existed in real life? That'd be so crazy.
That would be crazy. Imagine. A quote that I really liked, because we haven't talked a whole lot about Luke at this point in time. Like, we've talked, it's like he's got his Batwing persona, but then he also has his like, wealthy kind of like socialite, like alter ego, like his real personality as well.
Retired military vet.
Yeah. And so he was a cool character, I thought. Like, I feel like she really like created an interesting character for him too. But there's this point where they're like getting to know each other, and you can tell that they're like on some level like like, you know, they're starting to like each other, like, as more than just, you know, I guess you could say, like, acquaintances or enemies or whatever. And he says, "Don't leave me alone in the darkness, this place where we both exist yet serve different callings." And I was like, what a interesting, like, way to say that. You know what I mean? Because it's like, eventually they kind of come to that conclusion that they can both help fight evil together, just on opposing sides of the coin almost.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And I really liked that. I thought that was a really cool quote. But that's the only one that really stood out to me.
There was a lot of good, profound moments in there for sure. So if you haven't read it yet, I mean, I definitely think it's worth the read, especially the more we talk about it, you know?
For sure.
That there's some profound Sarah J. Maas moments in there. For sure, for sure.
Yeah, that, I think, you know, you couldn't really call, because this is so, you know, YA, you couldn't really call it enemies to lovers because they don't become lovers, but it's like enemies to, like, they'll probably end up having a thing. And that was cute and satisfying. Yeah,
because as both their persona and as their normal person,
they like
/ kind of who they put on as well. So really 3 parts of them are attracted to each other.
Yeah, totally.
Because it's who they are at their core, who they put on, you know, to the world is that kind of mask. And then their literal masks, their literal alter egos. So in all 3 scenarios, they're drawn to each other.
Yeah.
So... yeah.
It
leaves off kind of ambiguous, but you can fill in the blanks.
Yeah, like they kiss and they, you know, obviously he helps, you know, her in that final battle. He doesn't turn her in to the Gotham PD. Like, you know, I think this is, and I think that's how it is when you're watching the movies as well. Like, I haven't read the comic books, but like that's how it is in the movies. Like, they never really fully have a thing, but it's like they have an understanding and obviously they like each other, you know?
Yeah.
So I like that was conveyed really well. So while there's, you know, because we talk about like how the spice was, like while there was no spice, it was like still like a fun relationship that they were building throughout the book that I liked.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So we've already kind of talked about this, but will you read, I put here sequels, but in this case, it would be more applicable to say other books in this series.
Yeah. I think if I wanted to have like a little palette cleanser or something, I would be interested in these Harley Quinn books, but I also don't want to sign up for 3 of them, you know? Feels like too much to take on. Yeah, for sure. Because I was thinking of, I don't remember which one, because it has some pictures on the back. I was like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, Wonder Woman for science, we might need to consider doing, you know?
Yeah.
What about you? Which one would you be interested in?
Like I said, I'd be most interested, I think, in Wonder Woman and Harley Quinn for sure. Yeah. I don't know, but maybe, I don't know, Batman might be cool. I'm kind of like, if I were to choose one to read right now, right off the bat, it would probably be the Harley Quinn one because of the fact that it kind of leaves the Harley Quinn side story on a little bit of a cliffhanger at the end of this.
Yes.
You know?
It does.
So
and we get glimpses of her story a little bit, which we do. I would love a Poison Ivy one, honestly, but I don't see one in there right now.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that would be good too, for sure. Do you think that this book should be adapted into a movie?
Yes. I would eat this up. It's like perfect, right?
Yeah. I would watch it. I mean, I watch all of them anyways, so yeah.
Yeah. And I don't, and I would. So what does that tell you? I think, hey, why not throw your hat in the ring? You know, like you talked about those superhero purists, whatever. Like, come on. We're making like 10,000 Thors at this point. They're trying to get it right. Maybe we get Catwoman right this time. They'll never do it because a woman wrote it, but they should.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'd watch it for sure. I mean, but like I said, I'm kind of like a shoe-in because I'm going to go see it regardless. I'm going to go see all those movies regardless.
Yeah. That'd be so cool. If they, I haven't read the other ones, but if they're anything like this, if they could make a separate, like, you know, hey, maybe everybody should go buy this and maybe one day they'll figure it out that we like it and they'll make a movie from it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay. Well, Liz, what say you? Should this book be more popular or should it kind of stay a secret?
I mean, I think that it deserves to be popular for sure. Like,
yeah.
I don't know that it would get to the level, like to the ACOTAR level, but like,
right.
you know, I do feel like perhaps it deserves more than like how many, whatever, 20,000 reviews on Goodreads. Like, that's just so odd.
Yeah. It's so weird for we as readers, you know, who read everything. Like, if we love an author, we read it all. Well, how many of y'all have read this one, you know?
Or like, because if you have, why didn't anyone tell us or talk about it?
Yeah, why didn't you tell us? Now we're mad at you. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, we thought maybe it's like really bad. You know what I mean? Like, maybe
that's what we were expecting.
Terrible. Yeah.
So that now we're like, huh? Because it's not bad. So
yeah.
Other than like some people don't like when you take the same tropes over and over and you put them in a book. So I could see how, you know, obviously we've talked about it's like this. There's a lot of similar things that she already uses across her books, but they make sense in it. And it's like we're comfort trope readers. So the more the merrier for us. And the more quite frankly.
Yeah, I agree. I
so
totally
it's just
agree.
a little treat to tie us over until she comes out with another book.
Yeah.
So
and it's easy on the brain, which I feel like once you get real deep in the SJM Massiverse, it's like it's not super easy on the brain because all your wheels are constantly turning to try to put 2 and 2 together. You know what I mean? It was kind of nice that this was just is what it is.
It's open and close.
Yeah.
Case shut. Yeah. So I can understand because it's such a separate entity that it doesn't get roped into her fantasy category.
Yeah.
But yeah, it deserves more credit, I guess. It deserves to be on people's list. It's real well written. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So should she quit her day job and switch genre careers? Paths? Writing? What do you think? Should she just exclusively write superhero books from now on?
I mean, no. She should definitely keep writing fantasy for sure. But, like, I feel like that's the thing. Like, why can't we, like, if we have an author we really like, why can't we support all of their endeavors? Like, instead of picking and choosing, you know what I mean? Like, it'd be one thing if this book was trash, but I don't feel like it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So far, this is only a very small case study.
Yeah, we're on number 1. That's it. We have done no more.
We'll find out if authors should stay in their lane. Right?
Yeah. Oh man, I'm excited to like continue the series because I feel like we might find some really good treasures moving forward for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Do you feel like she was as good writing in this genre? So it's almost like as a piece of creative writing work, right?
Okay.
Kind of putting her brain to use in a different category. Do you think it's as good as her high fantasy that she writes?
It's just different. I feel like it's like, to me, I couldn't really say like, oh, this is better than Throne of Glass or whatever, because it's like apples and oranges to me. It's just not the same.
And it's also preference too.
Yeah. I mean, I would definitely say that, like, as far as writing quality goes, I would compare it more to, like, mid Throne of Glass series.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't say that it's quite as complex as, like, later ACOTAR books, or certainly not Crescent City. But yeah, you could compare it more to, like, not the early YA of Throne of Glass, but like I said, more of, like, the mid.
Yeah, I would agree to that. Yeah, mid-level. Which is like literally, I think, had she finished the Throne of Glass series by this time? I think so, huh?
I honestly don't know when it wrapped up. I'd have to look it up.
That's all right. But yeah, it was it's her good, you could tell it's her writing. It's good. She, like you mentioned, she puts you in the scene really easily and effortlessly. It's not clunky like my wording right now. It's just straight to the point, but you're in it as well. Easy to get into. So that was nice. Okay, I want to know if you have any ideas why the hell this is called Catwoman SOULSTEALer. Because I got nothing. Okay. Right,
yeah,
I
was actually thinking that when I was writing down all the titles for all the other books too.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Because let's see here. I'm like, I feel like I included these, right? Okay, so Wonder Woman is Warbringer, and obviously, like, she's been in lots of wars over the centuries because she's very old. Batman is Nightwalker, so it's like, okay, that makes sense to me because he, whatever. Superman, Dawnbreaker. I could see him like shooting up into the sky with the dawn, I guess. I don't know. Okay. I don't know who Black Canary is, so I can't speak to that one. And then Harley Quinn is Reckoning, Redemption, and I put Reckoning here twice, so that's wrong. There's something else.
Reckoning again. I don't know. Book 3.
But basically, Reckoning, Redemption, that makes sense to me too. So like all of them kind of make sense, but then the Soul Stealer thing doesn't make sense to me. So is there something we're missing about Catwoman? Maybe we need to like rewatch a Batman movie and see what that's all about. I don't know.
I finished it. I'm like, wait, am I dumb? Okay. What did I miss? Because obviously it led me to believe that there was going to be some weird soul-sucking magic powers Catwoman was going to have.
Totally.
That doesn't happen. So I guess it wouldn't be a soul stealer. Or like maybe you use the Lazarus pit and you like accidentally steal somebody else's soul to be revived. That didn't happen.
So I Googled it.
Okay, great.
As you do. Okay. Yeah. This is what Google says.
We can't leave the people hanging. They want to know too.
Okay. So Selena Kyle is not inherently a soul stealer in the literal sense. The book uses soul stealer as a title to reflect the fact that Selena, disguised as socialite Holly Vanderhees, leads a group of criminals, including Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn, on a series of elaborate robberies in Gotham City. She's essentially orchestrating a large-scale criminal operation, which some might perceive as stealing the city's resources and destabilizing it. The title also hints at the complex motivations behind her actions, which include seeking revenge on corrupt officials and disrupting the established order. That still doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but okay. Yeah. I mean, okay, whatever. It says it's a metaphor. It's not even
reaching. It's like slightly leaning to maybe a point, but they didn't even get there.
She is not literally stealing souls, but rather taking away the city's stability and its sense of order.
Still. That's the only thing they could come up with either, so.
Great. Well, that's weird, but.
It's a little dramatic.
Yeah, it is.
Eye-catching. It was eye-catching.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so let's just get into the reviews section real quick. So we'll start with the lows and then have you go to the highs.
Great.
We'll end on a high note. Okay.
Yeah.
I just pulled a few 1 stars from Goodreads. Dracula says 1 star. Thank you, Sarah J. Maas, for this massive disappointment. This should be titled How to Destroy One of the Most Interesting Characters from DC, a short guide. This was not cool. So that cracked me up. Let's see. Sydney says 1 star. Technically, she says 1.5 stars. I hate to say this, but I am thoroughly disappointed in this book. It is now known that anything outside the realm of fantasy is not for Sarah. Her writing style does not work for these types of books. I don't know.
Oh, that was it. I thought you
were she goes like on and on and on, but I feel like that was like the main gist of it. And I'm like, I don't know. I thought that she wrote it just fine. I don't know what you're freaking out about, but okay.
Hard disagree. Whatever.
So, and then I included 1 extra because I feel like this one kind of like encapsulated a lot of the reasons why people did not like this book. So Cameron, 1 star on Goodreads, says SJM is such a hit or miss for me, and this book was a big whopping dose of miss. Worst by far, the book is basically comic book heresy. So, yeah, it's like if you go into it as a purist, you probably will hate it. It sounds like. Also, she mentions, her review's very long, but she mentions too that there's too many parallels between Selena and Selena.
Yeah.
So,
I could see why somebody would be bothered by that. Because there are a lot. There are.
I wonder, because my husband's been reading Throne of Glass for a long time. He's on Kingdom of Ash. He's like eking his way through. He'll be done with the series soon. But his biggest thing that he doesn't like about Throne of Glass is Selena. And so he cannot stand her. And so I'm wondering if he read this, because he's a fairly big fan of DC and Marvel and all that stuff. I wonder if he wouldn't like it because she's similar, or if it would make sense in the context of this book and he would like it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe someday.
I was going to say, maybe have him try something else from this series first.
Yeah.
And then go to this one. I don't know.
Maybe.
Because, like, yes, they have similarities, but also not. Because she's not nearly as sassy as Selena. Or she's like a quiet, this Selena is like a quiet confidence.
Yeah,
right?
totally. Yeah.
Where Selena's a little bit more arrogant.
Yeah.
So I think that is the difference in personality. But I could definitely see the similarities. They're both badass FMC, kind of assassin-like. Had that assassin training that Selena also has.
Yeah.
So, yep. All right, let's do some 5 stars here.
Okay.
May says, I'm not even going to pretend to be an objective reviewer who dissects and rates books according to the elements of the book. Hell nah. I'm going to review this purely on how it made me feel, which was effing fantastic. Catwoman is an evil queen. I absolutely adore her character. Luke is an adorable baby. Ivy and Harley, I'm screaming. What a trio of icons. My thoughts exactly. Olivia, Bookish Places and Spaces, says, SJM at her absolute best writing in a story about a badass FMC superhero. Doesn't get much better than that. Any of you guys interested? I found an interview of an excerpt she did about this book. I'll have to look into that later.
Yeah.
And then Elena says, bad girls have more fun. Bad girls do it well. Either way, loved this book. I'm not a cat person. I never will be. I'm okay with that little fact because I personally love dogs a whole lot better. Dogs rule, cats rule. Okay. Catwoman was actually pretty good. I was a bit hesitant before diving into it because sometimes books that I've been anticipating for kind of suck. I don't even want to think about the last books that disappointed me, but just blah, 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 blah. Selena is a badass, and I loved her in this book. Absolutely loved when Harley and Ivy came into the scene. And that was like right when this book came out. So this was somebody that was anticipating the book and loved it.
Oh, cute. Love that.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's good.
Good.
So yeah, overall, kind of the same stuff we were saying. Like, it's great. It's good. Keep them coming. She writes something, I'll read it.
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
And then the people that don't like it doesn't sound like they were SJM fans. They're the superhero fans.
Yeah.
So those are 2 sides of a coin, if you will.
Yeah.
So you love it if you love Sarah J. Maas. You might not love it if you just love superheroes and you want to keep to a particular comic book lore.
Yeah.
So
you might be disappointed. Or maybe not. Don't take it too seriously. You might like it fine.
How about think of it as a separate entity. Think of it as, like creative writing. Like a creative writing. What's the word? Creative writing.
I don't know.
Not technique, not example. Exercise. A creative writing exercise.
Okay.
Like here, Sarah J. Maas. Use your great writing techniques and write us a story. Fill in the blanks for Catwoman's life.
Yeah.
Change a couple things around.
Yeah,
because that would be boring. What if she just made it exactly as her life was? Would anybody read it then? It's already out there, right?
Well, and there's already probably so many iterations, of her story anyway. It's like, just throw another one in the pile. Yeah, a lot of people said that it read like bad fan fiction. And I was like, I don't know. I disagree with that. I thought it read really well. Anything that I can like binge read in basically a day, I feel like is a 5-star for me. Like, unless technically I'm being forced to read it for the podcast, but not really because I enjoyed it the whole time. You know what I mean? Yeah. I wasn't like, oh my God, I have to like go finish this. It was like, oh, yeah, I get to sit down and listen to this some more,
We didn't prioritize it because we've been sitting on this book for almost a year.
Yeah.
Because we were just like, whatever, I don't know. But then we both finished it in like a couple days each.
Yeah.
Oh, we could have done this a lot sooner. Yeah. It was not, because you just don't know. Because there have been books that are 300 pages that we're like slogging through. Yeah. And this was easy. It was easy.
So should we wrap this up with a smash or pass?
Let's do it. Okay, I have an F, Marry, Kill for you.
Great. Excited.
Great. Catwoman, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn.
Okay. Great. Think about it for a second.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I'm definitely killing Harley Quinn. She's too much of a loose cannon for me. Yeah. I'm marrying Poison Ivy because we would be so happy together as vegans.
Aww.
Yeah. And I'm effing Catwoman because she seems fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
What about you?
This book changed my list for sure because we got different sides.
Your
things.
Previous list.
Yeah, I do. Got a running list. They're my favorite girls. What can I say? Yeah. So I always include Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn when I'm doing like, female inspiration and stuff for posts and videos and whatever. So anyways, according to this book, I'm going to have to kill Harley Quinn because, she's a loose cannon for sure. A little shifty. I don't think I can earn her trust.
Shifty?
A little shifty.
She might stab me.
Yeah. Roll me up. Oh, no. It's like you could make one wrong move next to her, you know? She's too early in her breakup from Joker. Maybe Harley Quinn later would be fine, but this one, not so much. For me, I would marry Catwoman because she'd be a good little protector. So, thanks. She'd give me all the things that I needed. And then Poison Ivy. She's hot. Yeah. So, she is. She's great. Cool vines, man. Cool vines.
Mine's real simple because I just have to know. It's just for science. Right. Smash or pass Ben Affleck as Batman?
Pass.
I figured you might say that.
Hard. Ben Affleck is always a pass for me.
Really? All the time?
Even he just seems so freaking arrogant and like I can't anything. Yeah, as the person, as the actor, as the people he plays, I never have liked anytime he comes on screen.
Really? See, shout out for anyone who is like a weirdly obsessed Dogma fan. I guess it's either the 20th or the 25th anniversary is coming up, so they're putting it back in theaters.
Yeah, that's so cool. I'm so excited for you.
I know. I've loved Ben Affleck since I saw him as an angel.
Yeah.
And it was just all downhill from there. For me, Ben Affleck as Batman is definitely a smash. However, he is not the best Batman. Who do you think is the best Batman?
Christian Bale.
Yeah, Christian Bale will win that all day long, every day.
I don't even think I watched the Ben Affleck Batman. That's how much I am not interested in it.
They're good.
I even watched the Robert Pattinson.
Oh, that was not. I didn't like that.
No. He tried his best.
Yeah, he tried his best. Robert Pattinson is only Edward,
and I love Batman.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, he's been good as other things, not just Edward. I think he's a good actor. Not as Batman though. It's kind of like because he is a small guy, and you could just tell even at all the. You would just tell, like, with all the camera angles and everything they try to do, they try to make him look like a big... Batman's a big guy, you know?
I do know.
So,
let's all just gaze off into the distance and think about Christian Bale instead.
Yeah. So, there you go.
Who's your favorite Batman? We'll ask you guys.
Yes, we will. Put it to the people. Put it to the polls. And our F, Marry, Kill for all the girls, all the fabulous ladies. Yeah, go find out on our stories on Instagram. So make sure to follow us over on Instagram and TikTok at Besties in the Books Podcast, as well as like, follow, and subscribe everywhere you like to listen to your favorite podcasts, including YouTube, where you can see these cute friggin' shirts that we're wearing, you guys.
So
seriously,
cute.
Check out Bookish Queen. Like we said, we're going to have everything linked down in the description box so you could check them out too and get yourself some cute little bookish apparel or little tchotchkes. So fun. And thank you so much to Bookish Queen for sponsoring today's video. But you guys, we'll see ya
next
Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.